The crack of the bat in Charlotte. Baseball weather has found its way to the Carolinas. Knights and Iron Pigs will share the field tonight before a stadium overflowing with baseball fans. And you'll see it live next on the CBS Sports Network. BB&T Ballpark, the newest jewel in the crown of the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, one of the most vibrant cities in the southeastern United States. And this evening, Charlotte's Knights will host the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dick Gabriel, along with former big league infielder Doug Flynn. Welcome to coverage of our minor league baseball game of the week here in Charlotte, where, Doug, they built a downtown ballpark hoping people would show up, and boy, have they ever.
I tell you, we'd heard so much about this ballpark, Dick, but you have to be here to experience one of the prettiest settings I've ever seen for minor league baseball in a part of the town that needed a little pick-me-up, and the fans are coming in droves.
Interesting pitching matchup tonight. You've got a guy with a lot of upside, a former first-round draft pick for Lehigh, against a former big leaguer, a guy trying to get his way back to the bigs.
Yeah, Brad Lincoln will get his second start tonight, mostly coming out of the bullpen, his seventh appearance. The most he's gone is 4 innings. You have Felipe Paulino, who's second rehab start, trying to get back to the big leagues, little shoulder injury. He's trying to find that good fastball.
We told you the fans love it. Ginger Polson is our roving reporter, and she'll be out in the middle of another sellout crowd tonight. Ginger?
Guys, that's right. Fans love this ballpark. One of the reasons that Charlotte decided to move into the new ballpark was because they wanted to boost their attendance numbers. Last season, they were averaging 3,600 fans a game. This year, they're all the way up to 9,400 fans a game. That number actually leads all of minor league baseball in average attendance, and it's no question why. Look how beautiful this ballpark is, with amenities like dugout seats and a home run porch. Fans flock here, and tonight, it will be no different. It's the 7th sellout crowd of the season for the Knights. So, guys, it's going to get packed. Back to you.
Knights and Iron Pigs, and before we're off the air, we'll tell you what an Iron Pig is. Back with more from Charlotte in just a minute on the CBS Sports Network. Perfect night for baseball. Temperature down from the mid-90s. Nice breeze tonight. It's going to be clear and warm. Perfect evening for the sport. And we'll take a look at how Lehigh will come to the plate. Cleet Thomas, Tyler Henson, Maikel Franco, Reed Brignac had the game-winning home run yesterday. Coy Hill and Jim Murphy, Matt Tolbert, Tyson Gilligan in center. Ronnie Cedeno gets the start at shortstop, and they will be facing Felipe Paulino, 6'3", 270, as Doug said, in his second rehab start for the Knights. He's been up for a couple of starts in the majors with battling some shoulder problems, and we are underway here in BB&T Ballpark in Charlotte. And Felipe Paulino is on to Chicago's 15-day disabled list, trying to work his way back to the major leagues.
Yeah, this is second start, Dick, since he's come back from rehab. His first outing, he went 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, only one of them earned with a walk and a strikeout. So we're looking for him tonight, as we've been told, probably 65 pitches maybe, or 4 innings, whatever they can get out of him.
Cleet Thomas has reached safely in his last 17 games. That streak, he's batted .279. He's drawn 13 walks. Missed a couple of games out with an illness. Now you see .267 average on the season. And the Iron Pigs knocked off these Charlotte Knights yesterday afternoon. It was a warm one, and it went 11 innings. They win it 3-2, as we mentioned, on a home run in the top of the 11th inning. Thomas claimed off waivers by the Twins in 2012. Back in 09 was in the major leagues, was the 5th major leaguer to hit a go-ahead grand slam in a game that he entered as a pinch runner. Taken by the Tigers, the 5th round of the 02 draft, but did not sign. Went on to play at Auburn, had a great career there. Taken in the 6th round by the Tigers in 05.
We're doing just what your leadoff hitter is supposed to do, see a lot of pitches.
I've got to think that they have that in their mind as well, with Paulino struggling with that shoulder. Jammed him with a fastball, and drifting over, third baseman Alex Liddy for Charlotte. Here's the way the Knights will play defense around the outfield. Jared Mitchell, the speedster from LSU. Gorkis Hernandez in center field. Dennis Phillips in right. Liddy at short. Tyler Saladino Liddy at third. Saladino at short. Carlos Sanchez and Andy Wilkins around the horn. Josh Fegley behind the plate. 2 years ago, a Gold Glove winner for these Knights.
Yeah, they're pretty solid up the middle with this ball club, and I'm a little familiar with one of their players. Phipps, Cincinnati Red, was an outstanding prospect in their organization a couple of years ago, out playing right field.
So now with one out, Tyler Henson. And again, looking at pitches from Paulino.
Had a good chance to talk with Rich Dotson, pitching coach. They'll be keeping a good eye on him tonight, making sure his mechanics are good.
And a base hit gives him a record of 10 in his last 13 games. He's on a hot streak as Tyler Henson. Now 16 for his last 42. That's up over the 370 mark.
We'll get a fastball right down the middle. And right now, Paulino behind in the counts a lot. We kind of expected that. May take him a couple of rehab assignments to get everything back in order. What they're looking for is that he comes out of the game with no soreness.
So now Maikel Franco, actually goes by Franco, looks at a breaking ball upstairs. 6'1", 180 from Azusa, Dominican Republic. Coming into the season ranked #1 among all Phillies prospects. Lehigh Valley feeding the Philadelphia organization. Another good breaking ball. That's the best one we've seen so far here in the first inning.
That lets me know that he's not feeling too bad if he's throwing that freely with his breaking ball right now.
Signed by the Phillies as a non-drafted free agent was Franco back in 2010. Worked his way to the top of the list. Runner goes. And that's going to get through the catcher, Josh Fegley. So the stolen base by Henson puts a man in scoring position now. Take another look. Good jump.
Yeah, he's off and run. He does get a good jump. Looked like a pitch down and in. Fegley doesn't really have a chance anyway.
So now Franco with the opportunity to knock one in for the Iron Pigs. Mentioned he's the #1 prospect this year. Last year ranked number 11 by the Phillies, so he's moved his way up. Slider just missing.
It was like old home week coming in here today. Seeing so many people that I knew, it really makes you feel good coming back to the ballpark as a crowd begins to come in now. They're expecting a good one tonight.
They are pouring into the stadium. There are still some empty spaces as Franco swings through another breaking pitch, but the vantage point you have here, take another look as he chases down and away, as you can see everybody coming in from downtown. It's just a great look.
You're right, Dick. He's throwing a lot of those breaking balls right now. That was a good one. Good location.
Goes off speed again. Franco ranks second in the Sally League in at-bats. In 2012, third in games, fourth in RBIs. Promoted quickly. Now one step from the bigs. And another man on base for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
He did a good job that time laying off a good breaking ball. It was just down and away. Both of these teams have struggled a little bit offensively. Ranking one, just a good job of laying off of that pitch. One ranking 10th in the league and the other one last.
Lehigh Valley is 10th, and Charlotte just hasn't been able to get up untracked offensively. So now Reed Brignac, 6'3", 214. Drove in the game-winning run with an RBI, with a home run, I should say, in the 11th inning, topped the 11th yesterday afternoon. And Paulino misses with a breaking ball. 279 average, up to 3 home runs now. Born in St. Amant, Louisiana. high and deep down the right field line. Is it fair? Yes, it is. Second straight game with a home run for Brignac. And it's a 3-0 Lehigh Valley lead.
Boy, not much doubt about that one, Dick. That was one of those majestic, high and deep balls. Just a matter of if it was going to stay fair or not.
Just 315 down the right field line here at this ballpark. And boy, he went down and got that, Doug.
Yeah, left-handers are known to have that ball down and in. They love it. And as soon as he hits it, he knows he's got it. But this is just majestic. I'm even surprised that Phipps went after it. Hits way up on the screen. And I believe, what's that meant, highway out there? Looked like it had a chance to go out towards, but the screen got it.
Cross street behind the stadium. Of course, you got to clear the home run porch as well. And now he runs it in on Coy Hill, the catcher for Lehigh Valley. So we had just finished telling you how Lehigh Valley was having trouble scoring runs, and Brignac goes yard again. And you see the wall comes out there in right center as Hill couldn't help himself.
Dick, we both watched batting practice, and the ball will jump in this ballpark.
And they told me it usually jumps to that part of the stadium. Wind is blowing in from right center. At least it was when the game began. Now it's blowing straight out. Paulino blows it by him. Hill with a good season going. Up over 300.
Good pitch down and away. Another thing Rich Dotson said is, you know, when you got a guy like this that's rehabbing, he's still working on things. So he may not be in his normal game mode. They may have him just throwing certain amount of pitches and certain pitches that are in his repertoire. He may have a changeup and a breaking ball. But they might say, look, we want you majority of sliders or majority of fastballs tonight. And so far, it looks like it's been sliders.
It was the fastball that Brignac took out of the ballpark, and as Doug said, down and in. So Paulino working in and out on Coy Hill. But still throwing a lot of pitches, and his second walk of the inning. Fourth straight batter who reached. Retired the leadoff man Cleet Thomas on a pop foul. And now a quick trip to the mound for Josh Fegley. And
yeah, there's Rich Dotson coming out to have a talk with him. Rich, a great pitcher. Had a super career. Pitched 12 years in the big leagues. I talked to him a lot during spring training this year. Both teams, the White Sox and the Reds, train in Arizona. And he said, I hope when you introduce me tonight, it's not because I'm continuously going to take a pitcher out of the ball game.
Now, we mentioned Paulino with his second rehab start, 2 starts in the bigs, but really roughed up in the majors. An overall record in the bigs for Paulino of 13-32. He's appeared in 93 big league games, 61 starts. Originally signed by Houston as a free agent in 01. Coming up this inning will be pitch number 26.
So well over a third of the way through. You know, Dick, Coy Hill is a great story. Here's a kid that's got 5 years in the big leagues. He just walked and he's on first base right now, but trying to get his way back to the big leagues to maybe get those other 5. The magic number in the big leagues is 10 when you're thinking about retiring.
Jim Murphy would like to get up for the first time. He has not yet made an appearance in the major leagues. 6'4", 240 the DH out of Kirkland, Washington. Played college baseball at Washington State. There's a good look at Jim, a big target and a big hitter. 4 home runs already this year. Already saw 1 home run here in the first. There's that open stance. Doug, you and I were talking about this before batting practice. So many hitters have opened up in both batters' boxes.
Yeah, and they do that so that you can see the ball better. When you have that closed stance, a lot of times it also closes your head, and guys will open that left foot or right foot, depending on which side of the plate they're on. they see the ball a little better, and then their first move is back towards the pitcher.
Murphy digs that back foot on the inside corner of the box. Paulino finally gets a corner. He's had a hard time finding that spot on the plate.
And that's the location he's looking for. We got a good look at Murphy with that open stance, and then his first move is back towards the pitcher.
Paulino hit 93 on the gun that last pitch. That explains why teams stay with him. He can bring it, but he's had a hard time with his control and staying healthy.
Good differential too between his fastball and his breaking ball. From 93 to 84, he just had trouble throwing it for strikes.
So the man on first, runner goes. Murphy sends it to Tyler Saladino, and the Knights turn two.
Pretty.
So
they said they were tough up the middle. There's a good example why.
Paulino struggles, gives up the big fly to Brignac, and that's what stakes Lehigh Valley to a 3-0 lead here in Charlotte. Back with more of the CBS Sports Network. Three 3-0. Lehigh Valley leads Charlotte. Here's the way the Knights will try to strike back. Gorkis Hernandez will lead things off for Charlotte here in the home half of the first inning. Carlos Sanchez will bat second. He has an on-base streak of 23 straight games. Andy Wilkins at first base. The catcher Josh Fegley. Then Dan Black, the designated hitter. Dennis Phipps is in right field tonight. Alex Liddy, the Italian-born player, will bat seventh. Tyler Saladino at shortstop, and Jared Mitchell, a former two-sport star from LSU, will be playing left field and batting ninth. And a good look at Brad Lincoln, former first-round draft pick, taken by the Pirates and then traded to the Phillies. And Lehigh Valley looking for good things out of Brad Lincoln, making his third start of the year. Giving up just the one walk, Doug, that might be the most impressive stat of all.
Yeah, it's been used out of the bullpen a lot, and comes in and throws strikes. And I don't know if it's out of necessity or they just want to see what he can do. He's only thrown as many as 4 innings.
But the Knights with a big hole to dig out of. Now, they did that on Monday. They fell behind 7-0 in the first, eventually down 8-0 after 5 to these same Iron Pigs, and came all the way back and won it 9-8. And Gorkis Hernandez looks at ball one. Lincoln pitching out of the stretch with nobody on. And a line shot by Hernandez, and that finds the wall. Makes the turn into second base with a double, and Charlotte answers.
Boy, just like that. Got a good pitch to hit. We said the ball travels. That one went towards the deeper part of this ballpark and looked as if it might go out. Just a good swing on an inside fastball. And
double number 5 on the year for Gorkis Hernandez. Now man in scoring position for Carlos Sanchez. Sanchez, a .282 hitter. He's driven in 10. Might be one of those nights where we see a lot of offense. Pitchers duel yesterday. Something new every day at the ballpark, Doug.
That'd be all right. That's what the fans like. They don't want to see any shutouts.
Sanchez from Venezuela. 5'11", 195, switch hitter.
We got an idea of just how good he is defensively on that double play a few minutes ago. Quick hands, and they are strong up the middle.
10-game hitting streak. For Sanchez, including a 3-hit game against Rochester a couple of weeks ago.
It's a pretty good shortstop to come out of Venezuela. I think with few.
You played with at least one.
I think one of them may have a chance for the Hall of Fame.
Mr. Concepcion.
Yep, outstanding.
You know, one of the theories is that so many of your former Reds teammates are in the hall. It's going to be hard for him to get in, which shouldn't matter.
I think the question is going to be when they start asking the trivia question, who off of that team is not in the Hall of Fame?
Well, sad to say my broadcast partner will have to raise his hand, but he's got his rings.
That's right. You forgot I was the glue to the big red
That's
machine.
right. I never forgot that. Well, you hear the pop in the fastball, but it's too high, and now Sanchez reaches. So the first 2 men aboard for the Knights, and Andy Wilkins will stand in.
Talking to Vance Law, Dick, before the game, who's the roving hitting instructor. Vance, a former teammate of mine in Montreal. Matter of fact, one of the reasons why I left Montreal, so Vance could take over and play a very good infield. Son of Vern Law. But he was telling me about this kid. He said he's got some really good pop.
Wilkins out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, played his college ball at Arkansas. 6'1", 220. Defensive signals from Coy Hill in case they put people in motion. Wilkins, another batter with the open stance slightly, and digs in that near back corner. Cedeno has one play to make, and he can't make it. So on the error, 1 run comes in. That's Hernandez. Sanchez makes the turn at third, but he'll remain there. And it's a 3-1 game, and Cedeno would have done well, of course we know this now, to hold on to the baseball.
Yeah, the only play he really was going to have was probably at third base, but the third baseman wasn't at the bag, so he looks at third first, realizes he doesn't have a chance to get the runner at second, and then lets her go. But that's a sign of being young. You'll do that. Most errors made by the kids that are in the minor leagues right now, all the way up to AAA, are throwing errors. And you just feel like you have to make a good play every time. That time, a little too exuberant and threw the ball away.
So Hernandez comes around to score run number 7 on the year. Runners at the corners now for Josh Fegley, the catcher. And you see his numbers. Wants a few more RBIs if he can get them. Off speed by Lincoln's too high. First 3 hitters have reached for Charlotte. Now down just 3-1. And that was scored a single and an error. I beg your pardon, just an error. I believe he would have beaten that out.
I don't think there's any doubt.
Now Lincoln falls behind. Fegley, the Gold Glove winner 2 years ago for the Knights.
Well, they're really impressed with the way he swings the bat. He's got some pop. They say he's got good enough catching mechanics that he could be in the big leagues. Offensively, it's not going to be an issue with him.
Taken between the first and second rounds, 38th overall.